Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into something we all experience every single day. But let's be honest, we often struggle to figure out. I'm talking about our own emotions. They can feel like a total enigma, but they really don't have to.
You know that feeling, right? One minute you're just going about your day, and the next you're hit with this wave of something you can't even put a name to. It feels like your emotions have a mind of their own. But what if I told you that you can actually learn their language?
All right, first things first. Before we can get a handle on our emotions, we kind of have to know what we're even dealing with. So, what exactly is an emotion? Let's start with the absolute basics. Okay, I know this sounds a little bit like a textbook definition, but stick with me, because the details here are really important. An emotion isn't just some vague idea floating around in your head. It's a full-body experience. It's a conscious reaction to something specific, and it literally triggers real physical changes in your body and how you act.
Now, you might feel a million different things in a week, but a lot of psychologists say that most feelings fall into 5 core families: happiness, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. Think of these like the primary colors of your emotional world. Pretty much every other feeling you have is some kind of mix of these 5.
So, if emotions cause actual physical changes, what does that feel like in our bodies? This gets us to a really key idea. Feeling something isn't just in your head. Our emotions have these powerful physical signatures that we can learn to spot.
And that connection is so obvious when you really stop to think about it, isn't it? When you're angry, you might literally feel your face get hot or your fists clench up. Happiness can feel like actual lightness, those butterflies? And sadness, that can be a real physical heaviness in your chest. Our bodies are talking to us all the time.
Fear is probably the most dramatic example of this. Your heart starts pounding, your muscles get all tense, your body is literally gearing you up for action. This is that classic fight or flight response. It's this ancient survival program that's hardwired into our biology to help us either face a threat or get away from it fast.
And now we get to what might be the single most powerful concept we're going to talk about. We get what emotions are and how they feel. The next step, the crucial step, is drawing a clear line between feeling an emotion and expressing it. This is where you really start to take back control.
This question gets right to the point, doesn't it? We've already established that the feeling of anger can be this automatic, biological thing that just happens. You can't really control it. But what you do with that anger, well, that's a completely different story.
And this right here is the fundamental difference. Experiencing an emotion is biological. It basically happens to you. But expressing that emotion, that's behavioral. That's something you do. You can't stop that wave of anger from rising up inside you, but you 100% have the conscious choice to decide if you're going to let it crash into someone else or if you're just going to let it pass.
So once we get that we have a choice, the next logical question is, well, what's the best choice? This brings us to the really practical skill of communication, how we can translate what's going on inside of us into words that other people can actually understand.
This should be your North Star in any tough conversation. The point isn't to win or to prove that you're right. The real goal is to build a bridge of understanding. It's about getting your feelings across clearly while still being mindful of the other person's.
So, how do we actually do that? Here is a fantastic, super practical tool, the I statement. It follows this simple 3-step formula. You start with a little empathy. Then, you name the specific thing they did or said, and finally, you explain how that action made you feel. It totally changes the game from blaming them to just explaining you.
Of course, communication isn't just about talking, right? It's a two-way street. So just as important as expressing ourselves is learning how to really, truly listen and be there for other people. You're not in this by yourself.
It is so easy to mix up hearing and listening, but honestly, they are worlds apart. Hearing is passive. It's automatic. Sound just goes into your ears. But listening, that is an active, intentional skill. It means you are choosing to focus your energy on understanding someone. And frankly, it's one of the best gifts you can give another person.
But listen, sometimes, even with all the best tools and intentions, we still struggle. Our feelings can just feel way too big to handle on our own, or they're too confusing to put into words. And in those moments, it's so important to remember this. It is always, always okay to ask for help.
So who should we turn to? Well, a really healthy support system is built with people who have these qualities. People who are reliable, who are caring, who are honest. As you look at this list, think about who in your life is like this. And just as important, think about how you can be this kind of person for someone else.
And here's one final, deeper thought to take with you. Sometimes the emotion we show on the outside isn't the one we're actually feeling deep down. Anger, for instance, can often be a substitute emotion. It can be a mask for deeper feelings like fear or sadness, maybe feelings we've learned it's not okay to show. This gives us a chance to ask ourselves, what's really going on with me right now?
Ultimately, your emotions are not just random noise. They're a really rich source of information, a language that is always telling you what you need and what matters to you. So the only question left is, are you ready to learn how to listen? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.